the summer of 2000, Nickelodeon had an idea. On the night of July 2nd, they had the Smell-O-Vision specials. The Smell-O-Vision was a folder of scratch and sniff cards given out at stores like Walmart. One card was SpongeBob SquarePants, which had salty seawater, Krabby Patties, cotton candy, they were at the fair, candy, chocolate, and rock smells. Another card was Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which had pumpkin, a Salem spell, which involved Sabrina turning Salem into a plant, aftershave, she had a date come over, and cake smells. And the last card was for the slime show. It was a game show that had 3 kids battling it out on obstacle courses for a lifetime supply of Hershey's chocolate and a $200 cash prize. The smells were slime, bubble bath, part of the course, the garbage chute, and the chocolate with a hint of money. Sabrina and SpongeBob had amazing smells, except for the rock, but there's something Nick doesn't want you to know about. The slime smell was sickening. For some reason, in the factory that they were made in, they used germs to make the smell. Over 1,000 children wind up getting extremely ill because of it, and even one child died. Nick had already gone on a hiatus at that time, but of course, it was going to happen, but it never happened at all. Scientists have only just started to see the putrid smell in the slime for what it really is. And after that, the Smell-O-Vision was completely discontinued. It was never done again, and it was completely and utterly thrown out of the Nickelodeon vault, or really any part of Nickelodeon. In fact, if you even called them up now, they probably would tell you that it never even happened. Although they know what has happened, and the only reason they deny it is in order to keep their good PR. It's still a particularly screwed up kind of event that happened back in Nickelodeon, but it's not anything that's completely out of the ordinary. If anything, major companies will do a lot of screwed up stuff in order to gain a quick buck. That's a fact. And that, my little shadows, was Nickelodeon gone wrong. A Nickelodeon creepypasta. My final thoughts on the story? I have to admit, for a creepypasta like this being this short, it actually was a very good story. I mean, it may not be a Lost Episode-esque kind of story, but it's still a darn good one. I mean, the very idea of something like Smell-O-Vision or anything like that, being a thing, and that, Nickelodeon sitting there and handing out all these cards and things like that, I mean, it's relatively interesting. If you know anything about many corporations, specifically in the animation industry, is that they're willing to do anything to try and promote whatever product it is that they have. So the idea of them sitting there and selling or giving away these smell cards or whatever, is very believable and quite interesting, I might add. And the idea of the slime smell itself actually coming from, bacteria and other kind of germs, I mean, it's definitely an interesting kind of aspect to it. This kind of thing, it's a possibility to make this kind of stuff. It really is. It's pretty screwed up, too, that the factory itself used that kind of thing. Although, the idea of everyone dying from it or something, or specifically, I mean, I understand getting sick, maybe, but a kid dying from it, I think that's a little bit more of a unnecessary kind of, how do I put this? Kind of unnecessary, because unless the disease itself was like a fatal one, or the germs were extremely fatal, I don't really think that really would have been the case. To me, that's just one of the things that kind of takes away the believability of it. I mean, unless there was like genuinely a virus or something along those lines that were put in to make that kind of smell, which I doubt, then, that would be more understandable. Now, kids getting maybe nauseated and sick about it, that's believable. Maybe they could have said something about the scent itself being way too strong, or, something extremely screwed up within the actual process of making the slime-scented whatever it was, scent cards. And, that would have been a better explanation, but this one kind of doesn't really explain it too very well. But it's still, nonetheless, a particularly good story. But like I always say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story would have to be a 8.5 out of 10. While I found the concept of it to be a really amazing storyline, and actually genuinely kind of freaky, and also the fact that they managed to cram it up into a short story, there still could have been a lot more to kind of explain everything that went on. And the idea of a kid dying because of it, I mean, unless they had a bit of a better explanation as to why this was the case, it just kind of is like something that's a bit added. But overall, though, the rest of it is still actually very believable, though. You know, still interesting, still a good concept, still a good creepypasta. I found it great. But of course, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not? Also, what would you have personally done to help make the story a lot better? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'm the Shadow Reader, thanks again for watching today's episode, and like always, roll the outro, because I'm out. In fear and surprise, as your eyes widen, your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave, glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horror-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at any day.